What's happening, everybody? It's Sean with Reactions to the Classics, and today we get a reaction to R&B Gems Part 2, brought to us by friend and supporter of the channel, ANCAT Dub. Appreciate you, ANCAT Dub. Appreciate all the patrons that make this thing go. If you'd like to support us in any way, check out the Patreon link below or the Patreon link on the end screen. We greatly appreciate it. Okay, last month we did an R&B Gems, and it was fantastic. And so ANCAT Dub for this month says, I was going to move on to something completely different, but having sifted through tons of R&B tracks for the last reaction, I decided I would give you an R&B Gems Part 2 because that's what happens, right? You got to curate. I don't think people sometimes understand when they listen to these top 10 lists that the patrons have put together. Like, to curate all this music and figure out what you want on a top 10 is quite the difficult task. And I'm sure after they did all this, it was just like, okay, I have all these other great songs that didn't fit. So here we go. If you haven't checked out Part 1, I'm going to link it below. It's going to be right there. Click on it when you're done with this one. And if you haven't joined us before, the music will not be in the video, but it'll be in a Vimeo link below. It's R&B greatness, man. You gotta check out the music with me. All right, let's start it out with Grazing in the Grass by the Friends of Distinction. ANCAT Dub said 1969 single that peaked at number 3 on the Billboard charts, composed by Philemon Who and group member Harry Elston. The FOD were comprised of Floyd Butler, Harry Elston, Jessica Cleaves, and Barbara Jean Love. Both Harry Elston and Floyd Butler were originally members of the High Fives. Other members of the High Fives were Marilyn McCoo and Lamont McLemore, who would later co-found the Fifth Dimension. They may come up in a minute. Who knows? All right, all the lyrics up as always. Thanks again, ANCAT. Grazing in the Grass. What a fantastic way to start this list. It was actually a cover of the instrumental Hugh Masekela song of the same name, but obviously they added lyrics and sped up the tempo a little bit. Now, the lyrics, when you get that grazing in the grass is a gas, baby, can you dig it? When those females come in there and just pump that thing out, it's so catchy, that call and response. A lot of people, of course, at this time thought this was about marijuana use or weed, but the group said it was actually about traveling from show to show and noticing the cotton fields, pastures, cows, and cornfields. They felt the cows had it made due to living in those lush fields and always had the grass there at their disposal. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't know, right? Because maybe you're not going to be controversial. Go, no, man, it's not about weed. But it seems to make sense. But what a fantastic song, instrumentation-wise. Obviously tight on there, the horns and everything else. So great way to start this list. All right, next up we have the aforementioned Fifth Dimension with the song Half Moon. ANCAT Dub says from the individually and collectively album, lead vocals by Billy Davis, was first released by Janis Joplin. Hal Blaine on drums, Joe Osborne on bass as usual, but ANCAT Dub said they cannot find credits for the guitar. Tommy Tedesco, ? And horns being played. We have a Fifth Dimension whole top 10 up, brought to us by ANCAT. So check that out when this thing is over. Half Moon, man, what a fantastic performance on this one. You know, it's not only the horns on this, the guitar work on here is great, man. Drumming is fantastic, of course, man. But man, that guitar really stood out, and that's probably why ANCAT knows this and was looking for who played the guitar. Billy Davis sounds great. The harmonize, I mean, just basically singing your love, man, is like all these different things of nature, you know, all these great wonders, man. So, wow. Yeah, that one was fantastic. All right, now we got our number 8 song, which is not on Spotify, which is why you don't see the bar below. We got All Because of You by Leroy Hudson. Hudson originally replaced Curtis Mayfield as the lead singer for the Impressions. Wow. He went on to have a successful solo career, and like Mayfield, was an influential songwriter, arranger, and producer. The album version of this song was 7 minutes long. This is the version from the 70s Soul Sessions CD with the long strings outro removed. Leroy Hudson, All Because of You. Just one of those songs, as I'm going to guess almost all these songs on here are, they were on the other list. Just uplifting, man. Puts a smile on your face. This thing's just smooth. He's just professing his love to her. Baby, it's because of you that I can do all the things I do. You give me such motivation, such a beautiful relation, and it's because of you. I love you, need you. I always want you here with me, always. So I just continuing unfolding of his love with some fantastic instrumentation, but bass work in particular in here, man. His voice is smooth and great. Got somebody coming in, backing him up a little bit to punch it up, man. I'd never even heard of Leroy Hudson. What a fantastic choice. Now we head back over to Spotify for our next pick. We got Hey Love by Rotary Connection. And Cat Dub said, title song of the 1971 album. The song was written by Richard Rudolph and band member Charles Stepney. Rotary Connection was a Chicago-based soul band. Their music is sometimes referred to as art soul or psychedelic soul. They were fond of mixing various genres together in their experimental arrangements. Singer Minnie Riperton got her start with the Rotary Connection. She was married to the songwriter Richard Rudolph. In this song on piano, you got Charles Stepney. Soprano vocal, you got Minnie Riperton. Soprano vocal and alto vocal, you have Kitty Haywood. Contralto, Shirley Walls. And lead tenor vocal, Dave Scott. And Cat knows their stuff. Let's do this. Hey Love, the most rich song we come across for an arrangement vocally, because you have all those great voices. I mean, Dave Scott's on the lead here, but Shirley, Kitty, and Minnie in the background just lend so much, and the call and response of it. The difficult story of this girl's with him, but she's already thinking of her new love. He's asking for just one. What else could he say? What else could he do? Give me one more day at least. But that call and response, and just the way this song is complexly arranged, is just fantastic. I'm a broken record. The instrumentation on here is so good, and you want to kind of sing along to it, even though it's not a feel-good song, right? But it still makes you feel good, just the soundscape of it. Now we got a great one up next. I don't know the song, but a great artist, Marvin Gaye, Trouble Man, from the 1972 film soundtrack and Gaye's 12th album of the same name. This was the first album to be written and produced solely by Gaye. That's what Cat Dub tells us. I found it became one of Marvin's signature songs for the remainder of his life and would later be the basis of a biography as a sort of nickname for him. Went to 7 in the U.S. Marvin actually described the song as one of his most honest recordings he ever made. He played drums and piano on the record and performs all the vocals himself. He sings most of the song in falsetto while reaching a gospel-styled growl during the bridges of the song. I don't think I even know this song, right? I mean, we have a review up of What's Going On. I mean, Marvin's is fantastic, but I don't think I know this song. We'll find out. Marvin Gaye, Trouble Man. I had never heard this song. Marvin is definitely up there in that falsetto. Some good drumming in here, horn work. The song itself, I can see where it's autobiographical. Marvin had a very tough upbringing with an abusive father. Obviously struggled with drugs and demons all throughout his life. He says, I come up hard, baby, but now I'm cool. I didn't make it, sugar, playing by the rules. This is 72. He's coming off the success of What's Going On and how much he had to fight to get that album made. Watch that review if you don't know that story. I'm checking trouble, sugar, moving down the line. I come up hard, baby, but that's okay, because trouble man don't get in my way. And he just kind of repeats it. There's only 3 things, that's for sure: taxes, death, and trouble. That made me laugh. So this is more of almost a soul song. R&B and soul sometimes used interchangeably, but the arrangement stuff, it's not that feel good, make you smile and want to sing along. It makes you sit up and pay attention and know this guy's singing about something serious. He sounds great, but it just kind of lets you know that. In the bridge, I know some places and I see some faces. I got good connections. They dig my directions. What people say, that's okay. They don't bother me. No, I'm ready to make it. Don't care about what the weather. Don't care about no trouble. Got myself together. I feel that kind of protection that's all around me. So I thought it was a really good song that, like I said, I had never heard. All right, we're halfway through this list. It's not ranked 1 to 10. It's just 10 R&B jams. I should have mentioned that at the start. It's not a ranking, but we are halfway through the list. We got Home Is Where the Hatred Is from Gil Scott-Heron from the 1971 album Pieces of a Man. Burt Jones on lead electric guitar, Ron Carter on bass, and Bernard Purdy on drums, who showed up on the first part of this R&B jams quite a bit. Produced by renowned jazz producer Bob Thiel. I found about Gil, because I didn't know anything about him, his music most noticeably on the albums this one, Pieces of Man, and Winter in America in the early 70s, influenced and foreshadowed later African-American music genres such as hip-hop and neo-soul. All Music's John Bush called him, quote, one of the most important pioneers of rap music, stating that his aggressive, no-nonsense street poetry inspired a legion of intelligent rappers, while his engaging songwriting skills placed him in the R&B charts later in his career. Quite the praise. Wow, what a powerful song from Gil. I can see the inspiration on honest lyrics. This is all about his drug use. And I read that he actually died in 2011, and even at age 62, he was addicted to crack cocaine, according to what I read. And this is what he's talking about, a junkie walking through the twilight. Twilight could be, it was a metaphorical for heroin. I'm on my way home. I left 3 days ago, but no one seems to know. I'm gone. Home is where the hatred is. Home is filled with pain. It's his drug use, right? And it might not be such a bad idea if I never went home again, to that drug use. And then in verse 2 kind of talks about the hypocritical parts. Stand as far away from me as you can and ask me why. Hang on to your rosary beads, close your eyes and watch me die. You keep saying, kick it, quit it, kick it, quit it. God, but did you ever try to turn your soul inside out so that the world can watch you die? Like the world knowing that he has this drug abuse problem. Home is where I live inside my white powder dreams, both heroin and cocaine. Home was once an empty vacuum that's now filled with my silent screams. Home is where the needle marks try to heal my broken heart. And it might not be such a bad idea if I never went home again. And he just starts talking about just a powerful song, and a song about judgment, right? Not just about his struggles, but people from the outside stand in judgment of these things, not knowing what people go through. He's obviously alluding to here, he's doing it to get away from the pain that he's in, and that's what people turn to. They turn to an escape, right? It's escapism, whether it's alcohol, drugs, whatever it is, music, TV. It doesn't have to be bad stuff, quote bad stuff, but people turn to everywhere to escape their pain. He got into the drug use, can't get out of it, and needs you to have a little sympathy and grace and care rather than just judgment. Well done song. Next up, we got James Reese and the Progressions, the song Throwing Stones, and we're using the Kenny Dope remix. ANCAT Dub says New York Public School band director James Reese led an R&B soul group during the late 1960s and early 1970s. The song Throwing Stones was written by singer Marvin Gaye and James Reese, arranged by James, and recorded in 1972 in Memphis. ANCAT Dub says it's one of the rare times that I like the modern mix, except for the unnecessarily long outro group. The original single was 3 minutes in length and much more abrupt in its arrangement. This remix adds a lot of space and atmosphere to the track. Throwing Stones, Kenny Dope remix. I saw what ANCAT was saying, a little bit long on the outro with the strings, but that's all right. 51 seconds of build on the intro. I thought that Marlene King on the vocals sounded really good, and obviously the arrangement, the instrumentation was nice and tight. The bass work, the horns, everything was nicely done. She's just telling the story. Look, man, she can put her makeup on and kind of hide behind a mask as they're throwing stones. You can keep throwing stones at me, like, you know, the way people are just so cruel. And I think in our world today, they're even more cruel because they got their keyboard warriors that can say stuff to you on social media and things and just kind of hide and not have to say it to your face. So even more true now than it was even when she wrote this. But the cruelty of people, you can just keep doing it. But what are you going to do one day when you can't throw stones? And I've always found in my life, the people that throw stones are the people who may act like they're super confident, but they're the ones in the most pain and have things to deal with. So they got to make you feel worse so they make themselves feel better. So a nice offering there from, you know, a group that I had never heard of. Now we'll move on to someone I've definitely heard of, but I've never heard this song, Master of Eyes from Aretha Franklin. ANCAT Dub says a 1973 single produced by Quincy Jones, written by Aretha and Bernice Hart, released at the time of the Hey Now Hey, The Other Side of the Sky album. Flute solos by Joe Farrell. We don't really have hardly any Aretha up on the channel. I don't know how that has happened. It just has. It's one of those weird things. So glad ANCAT brought this one. Master of Eyes, Aretha Franklin. Joe Farrell's flute is coming in from the very beginning. It is like one of the driving instruments on here. An interesting way to arrange this. I thought it worked and I thought it made it different. Aretha sounds great as usual. And the story is, you know, she's loving this guy, but it's up to him to decide whether this love is real or not. You know, people say that the eyes tell the stories and they mirror the soul. Tell me, do we reflect the sameness of one? The unity to have and hold? I tend our love in quiet seclusion. Only you can say if this is love or just an illusion. So it goes back and forth about the eyes of her love interest. So nice little call and response here. And she just sounds fantastic. So a great choice there. Now we come up to a man that was on the last R&B gems that ANCAT Dub gave us. We got The Makings of You from the great Curtis Mayfield from Mayfield's debut album, Curtis. Let's check it out. The Makings of You, just a song of, you know, adoration from Curtis. I think he's talking to a love interest, but then, you know, the righteous way to go, what a one would know or believe if I told them so. You're second to none. So I guess he's just talking. The kids would know on that. The love of all mankind should reflect some sign. They are close, but not quite. Almost impossible to do, reciting the makings of you. And the first verse is just all these different things, right? Sugar, honeysuckle, all these little things that make up this person that he is singing to. So a really well done song. The strings on there, and Curtis's voice is just one of the outstanding voices of the 70s. Now we're to our last track, Flowers by the Emotions. And Cat Dub said the Emotions were named by VH1 as one of the 18 most influential girl groups of all time. I've never even heard of them, right? This album was produced by Charles Stepney and Maurice White of Earth, Wind, and Fire. Al McKay and Joe Hutcherson Jr. both play guitar on this album. Not certain which one plays here or if it's both guitars. I found on this song, a little bit on Curtis's song, the last song as well, but on this song, sampled by tons of rappers, including a Kanye West collaboration that he did. So maybe I'll know that part of this song. I don't know. Flowers by the Emotions. Had never heard the Emotions, never even heard of the Emotions. Just they sound fantastic. That bass work on there, but just the harmonies and just that voice, man. She's basically singing to this guy that, you know, we hold the power, we hold the key to the world's destiny. It's love, right? It's love. Have you the feeling to shine your light, using the power shining bright? Yeah, we've been searching, born to be. And then all the good things discovered, we're able to see your heart's of fire, create for two, love and desire, hearts of two. And then she gets into the flower motif, right? Think it over. Life ain't a four-leaf clover. Then love is a flower, from that a bud. So just kind of like playing that out. Love is a flower, let it shine on through. So a really good song, and I can see why they were so highly ranked in that VH1 list. Now we'll come to my favorite tracks on here. Man, this list is really good, just like the first one was really good. I can't pick them all. So we'll go honorable mentions. Grazing in the Grass by the Friends of Distinction. We're going to go All Because of You by Leroy Hudson. And Trouble Man by Marvin Gaye. Favorites are Half Moon by the Fifth Dimension. That was fantastic, and Kat knew that I would like that one. And Home is Where the Hatred Is by Gil Scott-Heron. That song was my favorite. That song was incredible, man. That was an incredible song of transparency and truth, man. So really did enjoy that. Let me know what you think of the songs below. Which ones are your favorite songs and favorite artists that were featured on here? Remember, if you haven't watched the first part of this, I got it linked below. Might as well go check it out now. You're already here. Thanks again, ANCAT Dub, for curating this list and the last one and all you do for the channel. Until next time, guys, I will see you.